So, chatter onboarding is more important than you can think, okay, because this is the first image that they get, okay, and this is what will make them decide to stay in your agency or leave very fast, okay. So, with a proper onboarding, you're going to ensure that they trust you, okay. You will have like a faster onboarding process, okay, to get them started because you have everything already prepared, and you will keep a professional branding, okay. If you want professional chatter, you need to be professional yourself, okay. If you don't have any onboarding process in place, the chatter will be confused, there will be mistakes, and you don't show any agency branding, okay. So hiring is step one, onboarding is where the real work starts, okay. So most agencies, they fail at onboarding chatter properly, okay. They hire chatter but don't give them any structure, which is obviously very bad, okay. The onboarding is the key to scale a consistent high performing team, okay. Once you hire, you must create a chatter folder for every new chatter, okay. In this chatter folder, it's basically the HR department of your company, okay, the human resources, okay. And you need to be able to properly track your chatter, save the information, their tracking, their like performance, etc. Okay. So you will create a folder on like Google Drive or whatever. I use Google Drive because it's completely free, okay, and everybody know how to use Google Drive. Everybody have a Google Drive account, okay. So in this folder, you're going to put the personal information of the chatter, the banking, name, address, etc., etc. Okay, the planning of the chatter, the software he needs to download, his like sales and hour tracking report. Okay, the chatter tracking that the manager complete, everything. Okay, or that you complete yourself. Okay, then when you onboard a chatter into your agency, you need to share with them, okay, the chatting blueprint. It's in the other module, okay. The golden chatting rules, you need to share it with them, but you need to go over every single one of these documents with them live, okay, either you or a manager, okay. Otherwise, they are just not going to read it, okay. Trust me, I've been there. I did it already. If you don't go over it yourself, they are not going to read it, okay, and not going to remember it. You add them to your internal Discord channel, okay, and Telegram group. If you use Telegram, you should use Telegram. Basically, Discord is to share the screen. Telegram is to communicate by message, send screenshot, recording, etc. Okay, and you're going to assign their first model, and they are going to do their first shift. Okay, obviously, first shift they need to be monitored. Okay, they need to share the screen on Discord. This is why you create the channel and invite them to your Discord channel, okay. Obviously, we'll explain daily reporting process and everything that they need to do, okay. Obviously, it's the onboarding. You need to show them everything, okay, about your agency, how it works, okay. Most agency, as I said, they lose chatter because they don't have a proper onboarding process, and this is very bad, okay. Hiring a chatter is just step one, basically. If you don't structure your onboarding, okay, the chatter won't know your system. They will improvise. You will lose sales. You won't look professional at all, okay. And if you want experienced chatter and good chatter, trust me, they only work with good agencies and like structured agency, okay. That's why this onboarding module is very important, okay. So when to hire your first chatter, okay. I made you a little graph basically here. If there is a model doing 0 to 3K per month, you can chat yourself, it's fine, okay. You have a few messages to answer, few hours per day, you learn how to do chatting directly on the field, it's okay, it's a good start. And you can't even hire a chatter, otherwise it's going to cost you more than what than what he makes you. and you're not going to get good chatter, because good chatter, they don't work on account doing less than 5-10k per month. Okay. Then once the account do 3 to 5k per month, you can start testing one chatter a few hours per day, or two chatter on different days. Okay. Then 5-10k per month, you can start building, hiring really 1-2 chatter or 3 chatter, and then more than 10k, you should have maybe 24/7, or like maybe it's more after 15k, for example. Okay. That's basically when you're going to hire chatter. Obviously, it depends on your situation. Some of my students, they keep chatting after they reach 15k. Okay. Even though for me it's not the right choice, but it depends how much money you have to invest, how much hour you have to chat, or you're good at chatting, etc., etc. But don't wait too much to start hiring at least one part-time chatter, otherwise it's going to just choke you out because you have too much stuff to do. Okay. So solo chatting is fine to a point. There is signs that will appear that will tell you that you need to hire. You miss DM at night, for example. Okay. You don't answer your customer fast enough. Okay. For example, they complain or they leave, or you answer. Okay, they answer you, you answer 10 minutes later, and they stop answering, for example. This is sign that you need to hire chatter. Okay. If you reply slowly to whale, it's the worst thing that you could do. Okay. And your model revenue is stuck and you still have traffic, it means that the problem comes from the chatting. Okay. So the rule is around 3-5k. So from 3 to 5k per month that you made yourself, you can start trying to hire your first chatter. Okay. Obviously, the goal is for you to learn how to do it yourself first. Okay. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to manage anything. Obviously, if you do not want to deal with the chatting at all, there is chatting agency like mine, and there is many other that can do a proper chatting, okay, for you, so you can just focus on the marketing. Okay. So hiring your first chatter is the best to avoid burnout, but hire chatter as soon as possible. Okay. So you can avoid burnouts. The sales that your account make shouldn't be based on how many hours you work on this account. Okay. You will start building your own chatting tutorials, etc., etc. Okay. So that's pretty good to start hiring as soon as possible, but make sure that you're profitable while doing so, otherwise it's pointless. Okay. If you hire too late, you will panic and hire low quality chatter, and this will make you lose whales, you lose money, etc. Obviously, you want to avoid that as much as possible. Okay. If you're making less than $2,000 per month, chat solo, you don't need anyone. Okay. It's as simple as that. You need to learn it yourself first. 3-5k. If your model is stuck at 3-5k, the problem is basically you and the marketing. Okay, the problem is not really the chatting. Okay, because trust me, 3-5k, you can do it yourself. Okay. Once you reach that, then you can think about hiring a chatter. Okay. So this module is about where to find and how to filter your chatter. So the main places where to hire chatter are Facebook groups, okay, of like virtual assistant and freelancer is the best one, because one, it's completely free. Okay. It's easy to join like 30 groups per day. Okay. Most of them you can post your application on it without any problem. Just do not mention directly that it's for like fan view chatting or only fan chatting. That's very important. Don't really mention the rates, because some they can say that it's not good rates, or like sometimes it goes problem. Okay. But these are good places. Okay. Facebook, the number one. Second one is Telegram. A lot of scam and inexperienced chatter, but you can find some chatter. Okay. There is Discord server as well that you can find, or virtual assistant, for example. And I think one of the second best one is the actual referrals. When you find one chatter, you're sure, okay, that they might have friends, family members, whatever, that could be trained by them or already have experience and join your agency, okay? Now, when you hire, you are making every single potential chatters, okay, go through your hiring funnel. That's how you sort them without spending hours on it, okay? They will kind of sort themselves, and then you sort themselves based on a like pre-selection, okay? So the first one is job posting. You're going to go and post your job post on Facebook, Telegram, whatever, okay? Then they are going to go through the application form that we are going to talk about in the next module, okay? Then you're going to interview them, then you're going to test them on a live conversation, and then you're going to train them. Once they are trained and they passed all the tests, then and only then you can hire them. You don't randomly hire chatters like this. They are going to cause a lot of problem, okay? That's very important, okay? So as I said, top source, Facebook, then Telegram, then Discord, then referrals, okay? You need to analyze and look for red flag. If you find a red flag, you do not take the chatter. There is literally thousands of chatter out there, so you don't want to go and stick yourself with a bad chatter, okay? If a chatter say he have experience but he can't actually show you, then he doesn't have experience. If he tells you that he have experience and when you ask him a few questions and put him on like a fake conversation, he doesn't know what to answer, it's a red flag. He's lying. You do not want this type of chatter. If you see that it's copy pasted answer, it doesn't even match your questions, you do not answer them. If they don't add their profile picture, okay, like a selfie or whatever, or they don't give a proper introduction about themselves, you don't take them. If they already negotiate the pay, okay, and they don't have a high experience, etc., you do not take them. If a chatter is a bit too cocky, you know, a bit too confident, it's usually chatter that are going to cause you problem, okay? Now, for the green flags, okay, they have experience and they can prove it, okay? They have experience in chatting, etc., preferably in OnlyFans or FunView, okay? Their application, their answer are very clean, okay? They are willing to go through all your test process without asking questions. They have a good English. They have a fast typing speed. These are green flags. This is what you want. Okay, you do not want a chatter with tons of red flags, obviously. Okay. So finding chatters in general is easy, but finding good chatters that are going to put in the work over the months, this is hard. Okay. And the worst thing that you could do, okay, when you need chatter, is to hire bad chatters. Okay, it's preferable to have no chatter than bad chatter. Trust me. Okay, and most chatter they will lie about their experience, skills, etc., etc. Okay, that's why your hiring process must be very strong. Okay, do not rush. Okay, the hiring. Post job offers, job application. You sort the applicant yourself. You take time to do that because this is will be 90% of your revenue. So obviously you want to take your time on that. Okay, and if you filter well, you will build, okay, very profitable chatters. Okay, remember, all of your revenue comes from your chatters. All right, so the application form. first advice that I can give you is do not overcomplicate it. Okay, yes, you want them to complete an application form, see if they answer well, etc. But if you overcomplicate it and you ask like 25 questions, you will have no applicants. Okay, let's be honest. This is like a chatter job. It's not like a CEO application. Okay, the form objective is just to eliminate like 80% of unqualified chatter without costing you time. The real selection process will be in the video interview, into the like a motivation test, like see if they are motivated, then the chatting test, see if they can answer conversation, etc., etc. Okay, so mandatory a selfie. 50% of the chatter that are not serious, scammers, etc., they won't give you selfie, and then you compare the selfie with them in the live interview, obviously where they can share the screen and they can show their face, because they will have access to your account and or your like the most important asset of your company, which is your model account. Okay, you will question their experience. Okay, and you will test it live, so you will see if it match. Okay, if they said 6 months of experience and you see that they have no experience, red flag, you can fire them directly. Okay, reference recommendation. Sometimes it's a chatter that is referenced by another chatter, okay, or by a friend of you that have an agency, and this can help you a lot. Okay, computer setup photo. If you hire like Filipinos, etc., it can be a bit weird, you know, if you're not used to it. But to actually see the setup where they are working from is very important. Okay, if they really have a too poor like setup, it's very bad. If they have like a desktop, you know, like a real computer, if it's not like a laptop, is better than a laptop. Okay, another thing is it's very good if they have a main computer like a desktop, and as well a backup laptop. Okay, for example, if they lose electricity or one of the computer have a problem, they have a second one. Okay, this is important. Remember, you choose the chatter that you work with, and there is thousands of them. Okay, tips. Always ask for their Telegram and Discord handle. Okay, because the interview will happen there, but you need it in the application form directly. Okay, otherwise it's going to be a nightmare having to ask them that. Okay, if they don't have it, you mention in the application form that they need to create it and send it here. If they are not capable of doing that, it's a red flag. You don't hire them. Okay, they won't even be able to complete the application form. Okay, never accept an application without a selfie or whatever. It's not negotiable. Okay, what to look in for the chatter responses, their answers. You need consistent answers, so the same as the answer in your application form, the same you will ask in the interview. Okay, detailed experience, so actually giving you experience of what they did, what was the model, how much they how do you say, how much they sold, like a selling situation, etc., etc. Okay, no generic answer like, yeah, I have 2 years of experience but no proof, is very very bad. Okay, so yeah, hard red flag. No selfie, copy pasted answer. They cannot prove what they said in the interview, or like vague answer like, yeah, I can start tomorrow, or like I have experience, but yeah, no, I don't have the screenshot anymore, or I can show you. This is not something that you want, obviously. Okay, so your first line of defense to not have bad chatter is the application form, and you use the Google form because it's free. Okay, most chatter will apply everywhere without even reading your requirement. That's low, bad quality chatter. You do not want them. Okay, your form should repel all the lazy chatter, which are about 80% of them. Okay, and only attract the serious one, but don't make it too complicated. Okay, selfie and video interview alone will remove like 50% of bad chatter and like scammers. Okay, that's that's just the reality. When you ask about their experience, if you take chatter with experience, and I advise you to take chatter with experience, because why would you like invest 1 month to train a chatter that can just leave. Okay, and remember, there is thousands of chatter out there that already have at least a bit of experience. Okay. So basically, if you do that properly, you will save a lot of hours and you will be able to hire actually good enough chatter to start. So this is a very important step, obviously. It's the actual testing process, okay, the testing step. So basically, they send their application form through the Google form. Then you are going to test them and interview them. You kind of do this at the same time. And then you will take your decision if you want to spend time training them and testing them in your agency as real chatter. Okay, so where are you going to do the test? You're going to do the test on Discord directly, because later on when you're going to hire them, you are going to use Discord for them to share their screen, etc. Okay, so why not do it on Discord directly? Once again, if they struggle to log on Discord, or they say they don't want to use Discord for whatever reason, either it make them lag, or like they don't want to be like you to look at their screen, it's a red flag. You fire them, you don't continue the hiring process. Okay, so one is the typing speed test. You can go on typing.com. There is plenty of free typing speed test website. Okay, the minimum score 40 words per minute, 90% accuracy, like 80% is good. Okay, English test, obviously, if you chat in English, B2 or C1, very important. Okay, then grammar test, vocabulary test, internet speed test, very important. Once again, we work online. This is their work tool. Okay, it needs to be efficient and working well. Okay, otherwise going to just slow you down and make less sales. All tests must be done live on Discord with screen shared, otherwise they can just fake it, and trust me, they will. If a candidate refuses, disqualification, boom, you fire them. Keep screenshot of the test results in your hiring folder, because if you hire a lot of chatter at the same time, then you want to go over them, all the one that all the screenshots, and take only the best results. Okay, so the test process is where most bad candidate will get filtered. Okay, many will say they are like experienced chatter, but they can't pass a simple typing test or English test, so you will get rid of them as fast as possible. Other will like fake screenshot, and that's why we run everything live. Okay, they fake like screenshot of their sales, etc. Okay, when you test them live, they cannot fake. Okay, if they cheat here, they will cheat with client. If they lie here, they will lie to you later. And obviously, you want to avoid that and to only train the good chatters. So here's the full interview flow on Discord. Okay, what to check, what to ask. Okay, I made you a little screenshot of what will it look like. Connection quality, microphone, typing test, voice level and confidence, motivation and mindset. You want to test the chatter, okay, and they can share their screen and they can share their face as well. Okay, so that you see like their facial expression, how they are. You are here to really test them on all the levels. Okay, so that later on they don't waste your time. Okay, you want to hire the right person. Remember, these are the ones that are going to actually make all of the money that you make. So you want to hire very good employees. Okay, they are not like second tier employees, they are like the most important employees. Okay, so one of the things to check live, yeah, connection, etc. I already talked about that. Okay, even if you ask question in the form, you ask the question again to compare if they lied, or if suddenly they change what they said. Okay, which is obviously a red flag. When you do interviews, if something goes bad and there is a red flag, you stop the interview, say thanks because of they spent some time, and you go to the next one. You don't have to finish a 20-minute interview. If it's bad after 2 minutes, you stop after 2 minutes. Okay. So some question you can re-ask or just ask during the interview. About experience. How many agencies have you worked with? How many models at the same time? What platform? Why did you leave your last agency? Like the name of the agency. Try to get as much information as you can. Okay. References. Did someone recommended you? Okay. Do you know Eddie? Did someone recommended? Okay. Did you know other chatter that we could hire? Okay. Because obviously, if they can give you other references or the referral of other chatter, that could be very cool. Okay. Their motivation, how many hours per week can they work? Can they follow shift schedule? Why do you want to work with me? Motivation, like really test them, okay? Because you're going to work with them every single day. Live typing test. Once again, all the tests, all the like connection test, etc. We don't do it in the application form. I mean, you can put it in the application form, even though the important one are going to be the one that they do live, because when it's not live, they can basically fake it. Okay. Live typing test. You can ask them to open a chat with you, send 5 to 10 simulated client message, like you chat like if you were the subscriber, and they answer you as the model. You can do that on Telegram, Discord, whatever. It works really well to test in like 2 minutes. Okay. Later on, you will be able to test on fake account or fake conversation, but to start, it's very good. And you will be able to analyze their speed, grammar, energy, if they use emojis, the psychology, etc. Okay? Many chatter can pass written test but fail live, and you will see that. Okay? That's why the Discord interview is the key to solve that. Okay? You need to see how they behave in real time. Are they motivated? Can they communicate well? Do they type fast enough? Etc. etc. Only if they pass this live interview, you can go to the next step, which is the training, okay, and testing on live account after that. Remember, the chatter will represent your agency and they will represent your model in the chat. So you make sure that you take your time and hire the right chatter. Any red flag equal instant disqualification. If they are bad in the live interview with you, they will be bad in the chats later on. So I'm going to give you 7 live situation tests, okay, like scenarios, plus the ideal answer, okay? This is very good for you to evaluate the potential quality of the chatter, okay? If you're able to sell, handle objection, and stay in character, okay? So, if the client asks for content directly, okay, like, hey babe, I just subscribed, I want to see naked videos. The ideal answer is you're quite direct with an emoji, but I like guys that know what they want. I just made this video just for you, enjoy. Boom, $50, $80. Simple, but you adapt to what the client say. And you always give the subscriber what he wants. That's why you are here, okay? And that's how you are going to sell. If the client asks for free nude, hey, can you send me like, topless for free? You can't. I'd love to spoil you, but I put so much effort in my content that I can't do that for free, but I can give you a discount, for example, exceptionally. You are polite, okay, but firm, okay? You do not go and give content away like this, okay? Or you could say, I can't give you like too explicit content, like not topless, but maybe like a bikini one to, to see if you really want more after, or like, you see what I mean? Then, client negotiate the price. This is a classic. Like 50% of the time they will negotiate the price, okay? $80 is too much, okay? Can you do it for $30? You're going to answer, I usually don't do this type of content, and I made it just for you. I don't want to feel like a cheap girl, you know. What about like 49? You just answer properly and you negotiate the price. Now another one. Client wants a real life meeting, okay? This obviously you cannot do, otherwise you're going to lose your account instantly, okay? How can I meet you in person? He's not giving you a choice. How can I meet you in person? You say, oh, you're making me blush, okay? But I prefer to keep it here for now. You don't talk about meeting. Even to refuse a meeting, you don't talk about the meeting, okay? You kind of avoid the conversation. Let's get to know each other, okay? You avoid, but you kind of still refuse it, but you leave a bit of expectation for the future, maybe, okay? If the client has an objection, which will happen a lot of the time, like almost every time you sell a content, okay? I think it's too expensive, not sure if I like it, or he maybe say like something else, or not even say anything. And you can answer like, yeah, I get it, but trust me, I made it like extra hot for you. It's really like, it's really worth it, okay? For example, you won't regret it, okay? Then this is objection handling, okay? I mean, you're trying. If he answer you, then you can ask more questions, etc. If the client think that basically your model is a bot, which is really something that you do not want, okay? You're not real, this is a bot, I won't pay anymore, and it's a guy that spent maybe 2,000 on your account. And you can just put the card of the voice message, okay? You have to play your card, and you can say with a voice message, did I do something wrong to make you feel this way, Chris? And you mention his name. I'm getting uncomfortable right now, and you put like a sad voice, etc. Okay? This is very good to make the fan, to regain the trust of the fan. Okay? If a client says they can't pay now, okay, I can't pay now, but maybe Monday if you want. You could be tempted to try to like force a bit the sale, and I mean, depending on the conversation, maybe if it's a time waster, maybe you want to push saying, hey, you know what, like I'm going to give you a discount, so you can have it now, and you can fake, I don't know, maybe I won't be there on Monday, or maybe I won't be in the mood, okay? But most of the time you don't want to rush the sales too much and burn your subscriber, so you can play the safe card, okay, and say, yeah, no rush, just let me know when you're ready, and then you keep the conversation completely naturally. What are you gonna do later tonight, for example, okay? So how chatter respond here show if they can sell. Even if it's not perfect, you will kind of see if they have a very bad answer or a good enough answer, okay? Remember, this is live on Discord, and every time you vary the examples, okay? And this will, and you give them just 20 seconds to answer each conversation, okay? To make it seems like a real, real time, real life chatting. And this is the most important test that you need to do with your chatter. And if they really completely fail this one, get rid of them directly. If their answer are kind of okay, not perfect, you can continue with them. You can teach them stuff, but if they are completely bad, don't even waste your time to go further than that, okay? You will see how chatter handle objection, the request, the relationship building moment, and this will determine your subscriber lifetime value, how much they will spend, okay? So you will see if they stay in character, if they upsell and sell, how do they handle objection, etc. Okay? If you see red flag here, it's useless to continue the interview. You can stop here and go to the next chatter. Okay, so how to train your chatter efficiently, okay? This is a step-by-step process. First, you do a job post, okay, because you need to to make them see you, okay? Then you're going to make them complete the application form, okay? Then you're going to test them and do the interview live, okay? This is kind of at the same time, okay? If all of that go well and they pass all the steps, you're going to be able to hire them. But this doesn't stop here, okay? Because you just hire someone that isn't trained. So obviously you need to train them, okay? But once again, it's not going to stop there, okay? Then you need to go live, make them work on live account, okay? But it's not because you train them and they started that your job stop here, okay? Then you have the daily review, the daily training, okay? Either you have a manager to do it or you do it yourself. If you skip one of those steps, you are just going to get bad chatter and make fewer sales, okay? And if you spend all your time bringing traffic, you want your chatting to be as best as possible, okay? So the training is crucial, okay? And the daily monitoring as well. Do not throw your new chatter on live model without preparation and without daily monitoring, okay? I will type it here. The daily monitoring is very important, okay? Monitoring. I'm going to manage to do it. Monitoring, sorry. Yeah. So the onboarding step. Give access to all your document, okay? Chatting blueprints, the chatting rules, the real chat example. You can let them shadow an experienced chatter or even shadow yourself while you chat, okay? And obviously you make them practice on test account first, okay? You will train them on different stuff, different fans, okay? How to adapt their tones, how to properly use the vault, how to adapt to whales, because they will need to really think about their messages, etc. The best way to do that is to either, if you already have a chatter, you make them shadow the chatter, so work with the chatter, look at their screen, look at their message, how they work, etc. If you don't, you make them shadow you. So you chat and they will spend hours learning from you, okay? Very important. After a week, okay, you need to do a proper review of their work, okay, and see. And it's not because you hire a chatter that he's hired for life, okay? After a week, you need to do a proper review and take a decision. Are you going to keep trying to train them? Or are you just going to fire them at some point, hire another chatter and train another chatter? This is very important, and this will also allow you to not waste time. And if you decide to keep him, you will fix all the bad habits and all the bad stuff that they are doing. And you do a live interview, like another interview, a week later, to tell them about the stuff, okay? So they are going to get used to do professional interviews, and they will understand that their job is tracked daily and weekly, okay? If you want great chatters, you need to train them like salesmen, because they are doing basically sales all day, okay? Most agencies, they fail because they hire too fast and they don't really invest any time into chatting, let's be honest, which is terrible, okay? Without training, the chatter will sound off, the spender will start ghosting, and you will lose your whales very quick, okay? But some agencies, some chatter, they don't even realize that, okay? And that's the worst thing, okay? That's why the first few weeks are critical, okay? You want to teach them properly and give them feedback on a daily basis, okay? The better and the faster you train your chatter, the fastest you will scale. So how to properly monitor your chatter and how to do a proper reporting, okay, of what they are doing. First thing, you need to think of your chatter like 4 or 5 year old kids, okay? Without supervision, okay, they will do shit, okay? They are not, they, they are not like CEOs or manager for a reason, okay? They need to be managed, okay? They need to be guided. So you are going to have to do that daily, okay? Just like a 4 years old, you don't leave them for like 6 hours, otherwise they are going to do shit. Or like a dog, you leave him like for 5 hours in the apartment, he's going to do shit because they cannot uh, properly manage themselves, okay? And think of the chatter kind of like this, okay? uh, for example, at the start of the shift, you need to have a proper checklist, checking if the checking that your chatters are checking the ways, like the highest spender conversation first, because sometimes they start answering random time waster when there is ways wasting, like waiting for you to answer them, okay? Check that they do the mass message. Remember, we do mass message multiple time per shift, okay? You check that they review the notes while chatting, okay? They don't randomly chat with guys. They need to read the notes, use it to like do a more like personalized chatting, okay? They need to open the pending message from buyers first, same as the whales, okay? If they have one message from a guy that never spent anything and he's sub for 3 months, and a guy that spent $1,000, he needs to answer to the guy that spent $1,000 first, okay? Now, during the shift, they need to always prioritize the whales and the spenders, okay? You need to make sure that they have a response time and answer time on average below 2 minutes. Otherwise, you're not going to make money, okay? Conversation would be like too slow. They need to follow the script. They need to update the customer notes in real time every time there is an important information to remember. They need to use voice messages, okay, for whales and spender. They need to like not AFK. So as you can see, these are examples. So there is tons of stuff that you need to track. If you don't do that, your chatter will notice and they will start getting very lazy. And a lazy chatter, okay, is a chatter that don't sell the best, okay? Now, as you can see, step one, start of the shift. You look at the Waze DM, then the spender, then you continue the other conversation, then you see if they do the mass message. There is tons of stuff to track, okay? So a great chatting team is a chatting team that is properly managed, okay? Is a chatting team that is properly managed. This is very important. You cannot expect, okay, except your team, okay? You cannot think that your team is going to work the right way without you, okay? It's not how it works. At the end of the shift, you make sure that they updated all the notes, okay, customer notes. You make sure that you noted all the information into the tracking sheet of your chatter, and you need to make sure that all the important information about the whales are transmitted from one chatter to another chatter, okay, based on what they said, etc. Okay, even though obviously the chatter can just scroll up and read back the conversation, okay? So they will update at the end of the shift about the sales they made. You need to track it, or your manager needs to track it, because otherwise you know that they can fake sales, okay? Then notes about account activity, like if there was like a lot of subs, etc. If there is a subscriber that asked for content that is not yet on the account. Update about whales. Is there new potential whales? If they encountered issues. So there is tons of stuff to go over and to basically report, okay? Your manager should also give you weekly reviews of the general PPVs conversion, okay, how much you sell, etc. Average revenue per fan, if the chatter do like the follow-up, if they actually build relationship, the whale management, etc., etc. Basically, the more information you have about your chatting, the more decision you can take, okay? Many agency owners, they hire chatter and let them chat without supervision, without management, which is very bad. In every single business, when there is employees, there is manager to manage them. And in AIOFM, it's the same, okay? Without supervision, your chatter will completely skip the whales. They will forget to follow up. They won't build relation. They will do like just lazy chatting, okay? The minimum to get their hourly rate, okay? So if you want a scalable chatting team, daily discipline and daily monitoring matters a lot, okay? Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking about it. So that's why you must enforce a shift routine, like monitoring, okay? And daily reporting, okay? Monitoring, very important. The chatter must know what to do at all time, at the start of the shift, during the shift, and after the shift, okay? You or your manager must monitor your chatter daily. Otherwise, they think it's like a vacation, all right? And you do not want to do that. So this module is about the pay structure, the commission, and the retention. It's highly important since when you get good chatter, you want them to stay because it costs you a lot of time and money and energy, okay, to go find chatter, train them, etc. So once you have them, you want to make the most out of them. Just like the same when you bring subscriber to your account, okay? I'm going to give you an example, but it really depends on your situation, budget, etc., etc. Okay. So the base salary from like Filipinos or like third world country or like $2 per hour to $5 per hour. Okay. The commission is around 2 to 10% of what they sell net. Okay. But once again, these vary a lot depending on how much your model is making. For example, if your model is making 50K per month or if your model is making 4K per month, you will need to adapt those percentages, okay? Regarding the retention, to retain your chatter into your agency, what you can do is to raise their salary after a few months, okay? Or give them like bonuses saying, hey, you stay for this long, you made this amount of money, I'm going to give you a bonus, okay? So the salary, as you can see, are split between hourly pay and commission. You can also do simple commission, only commission, and you can do hourly pay. What has been working the best for me is around half in pay, like hourly pay, flat, and half in commission, or 70% from hourly, 30% from commission. Okay, just like a regular salesman in any business. Okay. Remember that good chatter, they will stay where they earn well and where they feel valued, okay, with like good work conditions. So you need to obviously give them rest days, etc., etc. So I gave you a bit more information. I'm not going to go over every single of the specific because you're able to read it properly, okay? But it really depends. The base pay depends on where they are living in, okay? If it's someone from the Philippines living in the Philippines, or if it's someone from the UK living in the UK, you're not going to pay them the same, okay? In the Philippines, they will be paid, I don't know, like $2. And if they live in the UK, you need to pay them minimum $6 per hour, okay? Just the hourly rate, okay? And the bonuses is the same. You can't give the same bonus to someone in the Philippines than from someone in the UK, and you can't give the same the commission, okay? You can't give the same commission from someone on an account that is doing $10,000, because if you give 10% of 10,000, it's 1,000, okay? But if the account make 50,000, then it's completely different. Then it's 5,000, okay, as commission. So it really depends. Okay, there is no like one solution that is working. There is multiple one. I tried every single one of them. For me, what is working best is a mix between flat and hourly. And why is that? Because you need them to be able to chat, okay, during their shift without selling to a whale or to a spender for like 1 hour, but they still going to chat, okay? So they need to get paid an hourly so that they don't just go for sales with percentage only and burn your subs, okay? For the retention system, it's pretty simple. You give them bonus money, or you increase bits their hourly rate the longer they stay in your agency. Okay, and why does it matter? Because bonuses, because as I said, if you only do commission, they are going to burn your sub trying to sell. If you do only hourly, it's the opposite. They are going to not care at all, okay, about the sales and just be there during the shift, not doing much. Okay, so here's the truth. If your pay structure is weak or unfair, you will lose your best chatter very fast. If your compensation is good, you have good commission, you add bonuses like exceptional bonuses, okay, you're going to have chatter that perform and stay for a long time, okay? You do not want to pay really like only hourly, otherwise they won't really care. They won't have like incentive and they will be like passive chatter, okay? You want closer like salesman and not just chatter that answer messages. This is not customer service, it's chatting to sell adult content, right? That's why for me, commission and hourly rate is the best way to retain your chatters long term, okay? Remember to pay your chatter whale and to pay them on time because they are the one that generate all of your money. So in this module, I'm going to teach you how to scale with managers, okay, so that it frees your time, okay. Here, as you can see, you're the agency owner, then there is a manager between you and the chatter, and then there is the chatter. This is the best agency setup so that you are set up to scale, okay, because you cannot scale alone. Managers are your number one asset. These are the ones that are going to do the heavy lifting, managing all the chatters and the account, okay? So you will need a weekly shift planning, okay? You need daily reporting of your chatter, so your manager manage your chatter and do a daily reporting of that, okay? And you will do daily or weekly manager review. Once again, if they are not managed, just as the chatter, they are not going to work the best, okay? So why hire chatter manager? Above 10K, 15K per month, maybe 20K, you need manager. And manager can just be a chatter that chat and do manager at the same time. And at some point, when you have like a 5, 10, 12, 15 chatter, you can hire a manager that only manage the chatter. And I wouldn't go and try to hire a random person to make him manager. I always do internal promotion to hire my manager, so they must be chatter, and usually I take the best chatter that are willing to manage other chatters, okay? So the manager is in charge of the shift planning, basically everything that you are not doing, okay? So almost everything, the shift planning, daily reporting, conversation quality control, the weekly reporting to you, everything, okay? At some point, they can even manage the hiring for you, the chatter pay, etc. Okay, but remember, you still need to monitor them. Okay, the shift planning. Okay, the weekly shift planning is very important. Ideally, it covers 24/7. Okay, you need to include rest days for your chatter and your manager, otherwise they are going to burn out. Okay, even if they say no, I don't need rest day, trust me, they do need rest days. Okay, and you can make them work 6 hour shift, 8 hour shift, 10, 12 hour shift. It really depends where you hire them and who are your chatters. Okay, the manager posts the schedule every Sunday so that they know, the chatter, they know what is going to be their planning, and if the planning is consistent, it's stable, it's way better. Okay, now for the daily tracking, the manager create daily report to track. Once again, you use Google Sheet, it's free and it's easy to track. Okay, they will know the PPV sales per chatter in the chatter and sales and our tracking sheet. Okay, how many message they sent. Okay, yeah, I mean, this is not the most important. Okay, but like how much money they made, did they chat well with the sale, do they do all the follow-up, okay, when they send a message, do they follow the chatting rules, do they follow the chatting blueprint, do they follow the script. There is tons of stuff to track daily, because a chatter can follow something for a week or 3 weeks or a month or a few days and stop doing it. So you need to be on their back all the time. It's completely normal. Okay, then the managers are going to give you a weekly report, okay, of what's going on, and you can analyze that and control the work of your manager. So the goals update, the whale retention, which are the best and the worst chatter, do we need to fire chatter, do we need to hire new ones, it depends. Okay, what content are needed in the account. Okay, the subscriber will complain to the chatter about content that they want and that are not available. The chatter will give this information to the manager, and the manager will give the information to you. Okay, the account status is the account is growing, gaining new subs, not enough subs, the quality of the subs, where they are coming from, etc. There is tons of valuable information that the manager can give you. Okay, the manager compensation, obviously you need to pay them well. The best one is to give them a fixed flat hourly rate, because they do tasks that are just hourly based. Okay, and a bonus made on overall model sales and chatter performance. Okay, this is very important to have both. Okay, and it depends where you your manager are from. Okay, but like if they're in the Philippines, you can do like, I don't know, it depends, like $200 per week. Okay, for example, which is $800 per month plus some commission, so they are at like 800 or 1000. This is good for a Filipino, but it depends. Lower can be good for like a lower quality manager, and you can do way more for like high quality manager. It really depends. Okay, a good manager is worth keeping. Okay, because they are the one that manage everything for you and save you tons of time. Okay, so you cannot manage 5, 10, like 15 chatter on your own. Otherwise, you are not going to properly manage them on a daily basis. This is just not possible, especially if you handle the hiring, traffic, content creation, etc. Okay? And if you try to do it, you might burn out very fast. Okay, so once you reach 15k, 20k, or like 15 chatter, 20 chatter, you will need to hire and manage managers. Okay, they will take over the daily repetitive operation, the shift, the reporting, quality control, team motivation, etc. Okay, very, very important. Okay, it's not something that is like a secondary. Okay, having manager is kind of like a luxury, but at some point it will become really like mandatory. Okay, so as an owner, when you have a manager, you can focus on strategy, scaling new models, driving more traffic, etc. As I said, a manager will free up a lot of your time, and this will scale your results. Okay, so start thinking about hiring manager before you burn out and before it's too late.